When you say the pain, the difficulty, whatever the difficulty is, I'll just accept it. This is just the life that I have to deal with. Then you know what? You go through it and you don't feel the pain. When you say exile, shmexile, no big deal, it is what it is, then you know what? There's no difficulty in the exile as well. Pain doesn't equal suffering. Pain plus resistance equals suffering. If the Jews would say, exile, shmexile, no big deal, I'm taking it on, this is life, then you know what? They wouldn't have to go through exile. There wouldn't be any difficulty in the exile. The whole exile, the whole Mitzrayim, is when you say, I don't want this, I'm not buying in. There's a great Orach Chaim, life-changing Orach Chaim. Parashat Vayigash, when it talks about Yaakov going down to Egypt, and he brings his sons, and he brings his grandsons, he brings his daughters, and he brings his granddaughters. The way that the pasuk is written is that he says he brings his sons and grandsons with him, and he brings his daughters and granddaughters with him. It doesn't put them in the same category. The Orach Chaim asks why, and he says, because the sons and grandsons wanted to go to Egypt, wanted to go to the exile with Yaakov, but the daughters and granddaughters were not buying in. And therefore, the sons and grandsons of Yaakov, they didn't have the exile to suffer. Until that generation died, until Yaakov's sons and grandsons died, exile didn't start. It only started after they died. However, the daughters and granddaughters of Yaakov Avinu, for them, didn't say that rule. In other words, Yaakov's granddaughters, Yocheved and Serach, although they were still alive, they had to go and have difficult times of exile in their days. What's the difference between the two? The answer is, since the sons and grandsons of Yaakov went down to Egypt willingly, so they didn't have to have the pain and suffering. The Orach Chaim tells us the rule is, Sama di Yisuri Kibuli. The cure for pain and suffering is to accept the pain. If you accept the pain, then you're able to not have to suffer. Isn't that amazing that Orach Chaim is telling us from way before Sarno? When you say, this is my Egypt, and I accept it, this is my Mitzrayim, and I'm okay with it, then you know what? You pull the sting out of the pain. It doesn't hurt you as much. You could deal with it much better. We find the same concept in parenting. A person could have his children that don't come to the table, or they can come to the table and they're not coming to the table appropriately. And he could deal with that if he just says, this is the situation. This is what I have to deal with. But when he says, why are you acting this way? Don't you recognize all that I did for you? Don't you recognize all that I have done for you? Don't you know what I'm planning on giving you and doing for you? Then when you have that concept of this is not fair, it shouldn't be this way, then it's much more difficult to deal with the children in that fashion. It's like when we have difficulties in life and we say to ourselves, this is so not fair. Remember the voice your mom would tell you growing up. That's right, life is not fair. How did that help us? By hearing that life is not fair. It's because when you accept that this is what life is, then it doesn't hurt as much. You could go through life and it could go by so nicely. Or you could wind through life and it'll take forever. Life is just dependent on how you perceive it. So the next frustration you have, the next issue that's bothering you and you feel this is not fair, just say, God, I accept this. This is my Mitzrayim. It's fine. I could take it. And you know what? It'll be just fine. And you'll be able to go through it so easily.